Today on Morning Drive, a tiger in the bear trap. Woods on course at PGA National as we speak. We'll bring you the highlights from his Pro-Am round all morning long. Plus,
today I want to name two more vice captains. That would be Steve Stricker and Tiger Woods.
Steve Stricker and Tiger Woods join Davis Love III as vice captains for Jim Furyk's 2018 Ryder Cup team. Find out what the captain had to say about the potential of Tiger making the team as a playing vice captain.
Why can't I have both?
And our travel expert is here to reveal the ladder of value golf in America. A list you won't want to miss if you want to play the best golf for your buck this year across the country. Don't claw your way out of bed. Stay in the den. You'll be furious if you go to work now. It's Morning Drive for Wednesday, February the 21st, 2018. Bear puns all week long on Morning Drive. We take you out to the Honda Classic and Tiger Woods inside the ropes. That was his first tee shot just about 15 minutes ago in the Pro-Am, which is taking place today down at PGA National. Tom Abbott alongside Charlie Reimer. We have a lot to talk about today, including Tiger Woods, who's on the golf course right now. We're also talking about the Ryder Cup. Did you see the curling yesterday? GB versus USA. USA thrashed Great Britain in the curling.
Let me tell you what, I don't know a whole lot about curling, but walking around here this morning, it's like every monitor in the entire Golf Channel is on curling. It's fascinating for me to watch, even though I have no idea what they're doing. I wish we could do that in putting. I'm going to hit a putt and then you scrape the grass.
There must be some similarities.
There's got to be some similarities somewhere there, no doubt about that. And this one is very proud of his furriest line that you just heard right there in the tee. You couldn't wait for us to hear that.
I was really looking forward to that. Over to Lauren. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning. Yeah, watching that curling, all I got to say is those men and women have to have the cleanest floors. I would love to see how they clean things up around their house. Moving into news, though, further stuff on Tiger Woods. In fact, the U.S. Ryder Cup captain Jim Furyk has officially added Tiger and Steve Stricker to his stable of vice captains for the biennial matches in France this September. Now, Woods and Stricker will join the previously named vice captain Davis Love III, with a fourth expected to be named later this year. So looking at the recent results in the event 2018, it marks the title defense for the Americans after a 17-11 victory at Hazeltine National Golf Club, with Europe clinching the cup in the previous three playings. The U.S. has not won on foreign soil, though, in 25 years, with the last coming in 1993. But back to the newly named vice captain, Tiger Woods, who said yesterday his goal is to still play in the matches, a topic Captain Jim Furyk opened up about yesterday in Palm Beach Gardens.
Tiger and I have crossed that bridge, especially when I asked him to be a vice captain and wanted him to be a part of this team. And the idea was, is it possible to do both? Is it possible to play? I think what we decided at the time was really to do what was best. You know, I'd like to do what's best for Tiger. I want to do what's best for the team, and that would be a bridge that we would cross when we got there. If he could be if he could be valuable as a player, I mean, I'm sure that we'd want him playing on this team. But there's so much time to go. I think the good news, bad news for someone like Tiger Woods is he's played now, 3 or 4 events? His event in December and 2 official events this year. He had a great finish at San Diego, and we're already talking Ryder Cup, right? So that's the nature of being Tiger Woods and obviously being one of the greatest players, or the greatest player of all time. So I'm anxious to see how he plays this year and how things go, and we'll do what's best for him and the team.
If Tiger does make it to Paris as a player and a vice captain, we'll be looking deeper into this record. Woods first played in the Ryder Cup in '97 at Valderrama as a 21-year-old world number 2. Woods lost 3 matches that week, including his singles against Constantino Rocca. Woods' last appearance as a player came in 2012, where he earned just half a point. In between that, he did build this record, 13, 17, and 3. Just quickly before we chat about Tiger Woods, let's take you back out to the champion course at PGA National, where Woods is on the course right now. We will be updating you throughout the day with Woods as he plays in this Pro-Am, taking a look at a few of those golf swings, maybe getting the driver back in play a little bit more this week. But let's talk about Tiger Woods at the Ryder Cup, potentially. He's going to be a vice captain. A lot of talk about this. There's always talk about Woods whenever he's in the headlines. But do we make too much of this? Is it really that big of a deal?
Well, yeah, I think Tiger Woods and Ryder Cup talk, those two together in a Ryder Cup year, I think it certainly is a big deal. And you were just mentioning Tiger Woods' record, not Sterling, big picture Ryder Cup. I think for a decent amount of his career, the Ryder Cup really wasn't on the radar. My evidence in a press conference, I think it's been about 9-10 years ago at the Tour Championship in Eastlake, he was being grilled over his Ryder Cup record, and he asked the room, he said, okay, can anyone in this room tell me what Jack Nicklaus's Ryder Cup record was? And nobody could. I think he made his point. I think now there's 100% buy-in with Tiger Woods for the Ryder Cup. I think for the entire U.S. side, including the PGA of America, PGA Tour players, the PGA Tour, there's buy-in for the Ryder Cup. My evidence, Tiger Woods turning out last time to be a vice captain, already agreeing to be a vice captain. It's something that's very, very important to Tiger Woods, as it is for all of the players. It certainly hasn't been the case that that was a 100% buy-in for U.S. for a long time. I mean, there was just some years where there wasn't the desire that there is now. The bad news for the European side is there's consistency. President's Cup year, Ryder Cup year. President's Cup year, Ryder Cup year. You have a mixing of the captains and vice captains. It's the same when you show up. If you're a U.S. player, whether you're showing up for Ryder Cup or a President's Cup, you're dealing with the same people, the same routines, the same outlook. Everything is consistent. That's pretty bad news if you're one of the players who has to take on Team USA in international cup competitions.
So if you look at what happened at the President's Cup last time around, it doesn't seem like there needs to be much of a change for the USA with the fact they played so well. I mean, they were just completely dominating. They almost won it on Saturday, didn't they, which has been unprecedented.
The master plan that came out of the task force after Tom Watson captaincy, I got the sense that win, lose, or draw, that master plan was going to be adhered to for a long period of time. The Team USA made a commitment to that master plan. Now, it just so happened that the early results were good, but even if the early results weren't good, I think that the U.S. would have adhered to that master plan.
Let's find out what is happening now. We go back over to Lauren.
Thank you so much, Tom. Well, moving on to the LPGA's third stop of the season, the first of their Asian swing, as Lexi Thompson headlines the field at the Honda LPGA Thailand, the 2016 champ of the event, part of a strong field that includes 8 of the top 10 in the Rolex rankings. Thompson currently 4th in those standings as the major champion aims to capture her 10th LPGA Tour title. And checking out the notable tee times, she's going to be playing alongside the world number 2 Sung Hyun Park and Arya Dutanigarn. Also, as you can see in the early morning wave, but late night coverage, names like Christy Kerr, Brooke Henderson, defending champ Amy Yang, Brittany Lincecum, Anna Nordquist, and more. So stay up late. Catch the action starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time tonight on Golf Channel. But for now, back to Tom Abbott.
Well, Tiger Woods out on the golf course right now, and he will play with Brandt Snedeker and Patton Kizzire over the first couple of days. Let's take a look at some of the notable tee times for the first 2 rounds at the Honda Classic, and we will just sort of pick out some notable names, I suppose, from each one and what you're going to be looking at.
Yeah, in that first grouping, it'd be easy to talk Justin Thomas, it'd be easy to talk Sergio Garcia, but my eye is drawn to Daniel Berger. Daniel Berger has turned himself into a heck of a player. 2 years now he's won in Memphis. He's from this part of the world. He's finished second here, although the last 2 years he hasn't played very well. But this is a very dangerous and confident and competent player. And that action that he's got that's a little unorthodox in windy conditions like we typically get here can be very, very dangerous.
Tiger Woods, Patton Kizzire, Brandt Snedeker off at 7:45. How about the next tee time, though, we're going to be talking about, Charlie?
Yeah, I think this is a nice pairing for Tiger. Patton Kizzire, just a little bit on him. Already won twice this season. This season, Tom, I mean, this is a talented player. It took him a little bit longer than maybe I would have thought to actually get to the PGA Tour, but you know, when you look at him, when you talk to him, when you watch every aspect of his game, this is a player that's going to be around for a long time and have a very, very successful career. He's sort of the prototypical big guy. He's got a lot of speed. He knows how to get the golf ball in the hole.
The third tee time, we're looking at Fowler, Kisner, and Patrick Reed. They'll be playing in the afternoon on day one.
Yeah, Fowler, defending champion. Kisner, always dangerous on a Bermuda grass golf course. But my eye is drawn to Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed on the really tough golf courses seems to be the most comfortable, where par has very high value, where you have to sort of grind it out a little bit. If he looks and sees a forecast where a couple of days the winds are going to be sustained 18 to 25, which can happen this time of year in West Palm Beach, he's going to be very, very happy.
And Rory McIlroy, Adam Scott, Padraig Harrington playing together. A lot of talent in that group and a lot of good form at the Honda Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Harrington, his win here a few years back is still something I'm scratching my head about. You just never know with Harrington, but so much talent, and Adam Scott, always fun to watch him play. But clearly Rory McIlroy is a player that got off to a good start early this season after being really injury-riddled. And the last couple of years, just hasn't played Rory McIlroy golf. I think that he's going to figure out this club right here, the putter. And when he does, I think it's going to be off to the races. And he's already proven that he can win the big events and major championships by record margin. And I think we're going to see flashes of that brilliance throughout this season as soon as he gets comfortable once again on the greens.
Yeah, we'll see what the change means, coming from California back to Florida, where a lot of players live, a lot of players practice. People like Rory McIlroy, people like Tiger Woods, they live very close to PGA National, so they're back in a very comfortable environment, and maybe that will make a difference with a club like the putter. Back over to Lauren now.
You got it, Tom. Well, also in the news, the USGA and RNA releasing details Tuesday of a new world handicap system. Now, the unified alignment is designed to make it easier to obtain and maintain a handicap and to make the handicap more equitable among golfers of differing abilities and genders around the world. So the WHS takes the 6 handicapping systems that exist worldwide and aligns them under a new single system. Key items, as you see on your screen, include a consistent handicap that is portable from course to course and country to country through worldwide use of the USGA course and slope rating system, which is already used in more than 80 countries. You will also need only a minimal number of scores to obtain a new handicap, with a recommended number of scores needed to obtain a new handicap at 54 holes from any combination of 18-hole rounds and 9-hole rounds. It also includes daily handicap revisions, taking account of the course and weather conditions, plus an average base calculation of the handicap taken from the best 8 out of the last 20 scores, which factors in previously demonstrated ability for better responsiveness and control. So a lot of details, as you can see, to take in. Let's get the discussion going with Tom, Charlie, and our travel insider, Matt Janella, joining the show.
Well, thank you, Lauren. Welcome in, Matt Janella, a man who knows a lot about the game, and I think you're going to give some very good insights into this handicapping chat that we're going to have now about golf with the new regulations that are going to come into effect in 2020. The USGA put out a press release, Charlie. Give us your thoughts on what you've seen in this and whether the system is broken, what you think might need to change.
Well, the system very much has been broken with handicapping to the point that I think for a lot of people that are established golfers, they probably avoid playing in competitions altogether because they just don't feel like if they have a legitimate handicap that they can go out and compete. I really like the fact that the USGA is digging into this, that they're trying to make it where your handicap will travel. You know that having a handicap in your part of the world in the UK is very much different than having a handicap here in the U.S. A 7 from the UK will absolutely drill a 7 from the U.S. every day of the week. There's no doubt about that. I like the fact that in the scoring there's a double bogey max. This whole concept of equitable stroke control seems to be going away. I like that. But having said that, it still looks a little complicated to me. This is pretty typical of getting a lot of people in a room on a committee and discussing things. I applaud the effort, but I don't really like in general what I'm seeing here.
Let's start with applaud the effort. So I'll give praise where praise is due. I think the fact that we're having a conversation about handicaps is good because I do think the system has been broken for a long time. I do like the idea of implementing weather. That's always bothered me, the idea of just posting a score without any indication of whether or not weather played a factor or pin placements or the tees that you used, for example, because just because you
it says it was 6,500 yards. You might have played it at 6,100, might have played it at 6,800. You just never know. But I think that, when it says designed to welcome more golfers, this new handicap, I don't see that being the case. I think that the problem with the handicap system is that too many people use the handicap system to actually use it in their advantage to cheat. Really, I mean, let's be honest with you. There's people using the handicap system to cheat, and I think the system that is used by the UK, and you would know better, is a better form of simply assessing a player's ability based on in a tournament situation, in a round that actually matters. Let's make that where we assess a player's ability. Otherwise, let's go out and play and encourage more formats. I don't think a handicap system where people want to play for a handicap encourages people to play alternate shot or best ball of the foursome or twosome, a scramble format. I think to encourage more people to this game, we need less handicap. I don't want it to go to 54. That makes more room for people to cheat the system.
Right.
In
the
polo,
maximum handicap under this new system could be 54.
Right. In polo, which is golf on horses, and you play with a handicap system, it's -2 being the worst and 10 being the best. I think we need to shrink the numbers, and the worst handicap should be 18 and start there. There's a lot of problems here.
You got to have some bifurcation of this. You've got to have a truly competitive handicapping system that's based on the scores that you actually shoot in competition, not based on average
which is the
of
UK system.
your 8 best scores out of the last 20. That makes no sense to me. I would like to see a handicapping system. Polo seems a little complicated to me, but when you go skiing, there's a green slope, there's a blue slope, there's a black slope, there's diamonds. Let's do something. If you want to welcome people to golf, do something like that. Hey, you're a beginner, play from these tees and compete with people in this range right here, and then you can move up as you become more comfortable. And at some point, if you want to get a competitive handicap, well, that's when you can start getting into some of the more complicated legalese, like you see when you look at the way the handicap system is written now.
I think there's a lot of passion about this topic because it affects everyone who plays the game, even pros who maybe aren't playing anymore but need a handicap to compete with their amateur pals.
Yeah.
It affects them. They can't just play off scratch. So it is a big topic to talk about. We'll talk more about this later in Morning Drive, but back over to Lauren.
You got it, Tom. A lot of opinions clearly when it comes to this. We want to hear from our viewers. Hit us up at GC Morning Drive. But still ahead today on Morning Drive, though, we're going to get back to the stage at hand for the PGA Tour this week. PGA National, the champion course, and a dissection of the bear trap continues. Now, we covered the 15th hole yesterday. Today, it's all about the real ins and outs of the 16th, and the anxiety-inducing situation doesn't end after your tee shot. Our pros demonstrate coming up. Then, our travel insider, he covers one of the most popular inquiries when planning a golf getaway, the best value courses. I love hearing about this. I know you do too. So Matt Janella, he's dividing them up based on different brackets, proving that you don't have to go broke when tackling some of your bucket list layouts. Then when it comes to the Honda Classic this week, though, we know you're ready to see Tiger Woods, what he's going to bring to the table now that he's back on the East Coast and close to home. So as you saw earlier on our show, he's there at PGA National for the Pro-Am. We'll continue to take you up close and personal to him throughout the morning, aren't we, Tom? We like doing that.
Absolutely. We're going to be taking you inside the ropes at the Honda. And here is Tiger Woods on the second hole. Can't see if he has the driver or not there.
Yeah, this would be a driver. This is a par 5, and he looked a little tight.
No,
early.
he's going with the iron.
Yeah, well, that's a little surprising right there to me.
Sensible golf.
Actually,
maybe
not surprising considering how he's hit the driver.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the week. I don't know if you were with us, Charlie, but whether he could go with the iron this week. Is the golf course too long for him to just hit the stinger with the iron? We'll talk about that as Morning Drive rolls on here on a Wednesday morning.